Welcome back. It is a Friday. It is a fun Friday.
All right,
And we're live. We're live. We said it
because the conversation has started before.
That's right.
But because we're so excited about Carnival,
Yes.
it happens next week, Saturday. Everybody looks forward to it, and there's a lot to learn. We have with us on set Vianney Cook-Kelvin, who's the
Yes.
social media representative for Belize Carnival Association, and Leroy Green, who is the PR officer for the Belize Carnival Association.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome.
How do you say good morning in Carnival?
Good morning. Maybe I have to put it up from
It's actually jump
Good morning. But it's nice to have you guys
I gotta
in.
get in the first question here before anything else, because
Yes.
you guys won't keep us in the dark any longer.
Yes.
What is the route for Carnival this year?
Spill it.
Okay, well, we got official confirmation on the route. We posted it on our Facebook page. The route will come, the juniors will line up at Fabers Road and Central American Boulevard. Will come down Central American Boulevard, over Belcan Bridge, come around the roundabout, turn onto St. Thomas, left into Princess Margaret Drive, and finish in the last final judging spot is in Marion Jones. The last lap is back.
All right.
Brought
So
back last lap.
let's do that again. Line up Fabers Road.
Juniors start at Fabers.
Juniors.
Seniors start
So
at
the
the
seniors will be probably.
Yeah. So down Boulevard.
Yes.
We're gonna make over Belcan Bridge.
Over
We're gonna
Belcan.
make that right into Freetown, and then left
into
onto
St.
St. Thomas,
Thomas.
and then turn
Straight
left
St. Thomas, left
into
into
Princess Margaret Drive, and then enter into Marion Jones for the last lap.
Each band will pause for a while one band goes up and does their thing in front of the judges for the final judging, like how it used
I
to
just
be.
was gonna say that, you know, when I was young,
Yes.
we used to go to Marion Jones and see them
I
do the lap.
must say here on behalf of the association, because I see people blasting the association right, left, and center about the delay in announcing this route. It is absolutely no fault of the Belize Carnival Association. They do not have the final say in the route. The final say is decided all the way up in cabinet, people. So stop blaming the Carnival Association for things that they have no control over. From the very first time it went Baymen, the Carnival Association and the bands saw that Baymen was not feasible. It has too many curves. We have complaints from the trucks with the music in it that it presents problems, and there's a part of Baymen which is very narrow, where people...
And that curve by the
first
plaza.
year it was bad enough. Last year it was worse, where people jumped into the carnival and was trampling the little children and breaking up costumes. We voiced our concerns 2 years straight, hoping this year it would not be that route. We're glad to say it has been changed.
So we tested this route. We've asked that everybody please be open-minded to the change of the route. We're testing, we're trying, we'll get this, we have to test and try, to be honest.
Get this the right way.
So we know people weren't happy with Baymen for the last 2 years. We've heard the pleas, we consulted with our state parties, which is the band leaders and the bands, because without them there isn't a carnival. So we've tested, we've routed, we've tried, and we just ask that everyone just be open-minded to this.
Because you guys tested it Sunday, right?
Yes, we tested. That's we gave up our Sunday and we're testing this route. We've put in a lot of work. We have certain guidelines that will be posted and announced that we need to follow on certain parts of the things. As like certain parts will common sense. We hope that people will know not to be by the roundabout, because when the trucks are turning, we don't want anything. So we have certain areas that will be designated where you can't park, you can't be, or whatever, but we just ask that everyone reaches out and cooperates so we can get this thing settled.
So let me just recap what's happened here. It was finally made a decision after many, many years that we'd move from the one straight route because of how the emergency room at KHMH was blocked, and everybody agreed.
No problem with that.
Where that introduced problem was how else to move, and a lot of sharp curves that it then involved. Are there any particular spots that have proven to be tight? Because I'm trying to figure out that Belcan to Freetown turn.
Well, we tested it on Sunday with a truck,
with a big loan.
Okay.
Once you know how to take the turn, you shouldn't have any problem at all, because it's wide enough. And like I said, like at the roundabout, we've asked that traffic helps with us with ensuring that nobody
Barriers.
is there. No
Excellent.
barriers are there, no parking, nobody there, especially the children. We know everybody wants to
think you
get things
guys-
that are thrown, but
Yeah.
please, we ask that
Yeah.
you please.
So
I
that's
think
the
you guys
first
have
one.
also asked that barriers be put up in front of medical
Yes,
associates
and
that's
so that
what I
people
was
cannot
gonna ask.
stand up
Yes.
in
Stand
in that
front there and
particular
say-
Yes,
area.
Medical Associates is it's not really a silent
Silent
zone,
zone.
but they've asked us to just lower the music from that's
tops.
Goldson Avenue up until B.T.L. So
Okay.
up until there, the music will be lowered.
Okay.
So
They've
which is
asked
just
for
the
that.
last block.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
all it
it's
is.
not-
basically homeward
Yeah,
already.
and like what we said, the last lap we brought it back. So even if you don't want to get in that bustle out on the street, head to
Head to the
Marianne
Marianne
Jones.
Jones.
Well, they have to put on a performance in there for you
Yeah,
guys.
and
'cause
that's
is
when
their
the additional
last-
energy.
Yes, that's where their last energy pops in with
Yeah.
their costumes intact, because that's the final judging.
Are you guys
lovely.
happy with the route?
Well, for
I
the,
think
we're
most
open
of
to
the
the change.
bands are,
Yeah.
right? And we hope the public will see the sense in what
Yeah.
the route being changed, because I saw on Facebook somebody blasting it right after you guys put it up. Somebody text me and say, "You saw what happened?" My answer to the person was, "In Belize, you'll never satisfy everybody."
And
Yeah.
we
No-
take a
no
while
way
to
to
adjust to
Exactly.
change by human
Exactly.
nature, right?
Yeah.
So this is the route. It is finalized. People can start figuring out where they want to watch. But let's just talk about Carnival this year now.
Okay, well, today we have our motorcade.
Yeah.
Starts at 5 o'clock. We leave from in front of Wesley School,
Wesley
that
College,
Yabra, Wesley College. On Yabra, we come out onto Central American Boulevard. We come, yes.
Yeah, straight down my-
Martin, let me get the correct
Yes.
Over
info.
it's the same
Yes.
one? It's
Over
over
Belcan,
Belcan, Freetown
Town Road,
Road,
Douglas Jones,
Jones, Belchina, Vernon
Van
Street, Magazine,
Road,
Cemetery Road,
Cemetery,
Orange.
Albert Street,
Yeah,
and
it's
finishes
nobody
back.
is
I just
walking.
was going to say
Well, it's only motorcade,
Nobody's
motorcade.
walking.
And then tomorrow,
for the guys?
yes. And then tomorrow we have our King
King
and
and
Queen.
Yes.
The
Lovely,
big
lovely,
event is
lovely.
tomorrow, King and
Okay.
Queen.
I think,
So-
Vianney, some people are asking to, and I think the public has never, ever been fully educated about what the King and Queen
Yes.
thing entails.
You tell
They
us, Leroy.
think it is only that costume being up there. I have always said I think when I'm not a contestant this year, but I think the contestants need to be night. Because when you people see them go up there in front of the group of judges, what they are really doing is explaining what not the theme, what the costume is all about, what the colors represent, what the costume portrays,
Yeah.
and then the public don't know that because they're not hearing that.
Yeah.
Because you
Right.
tell a whole story, right?
Well,
About your
the whole-
character.
The story is written to really put together everything.
Yeah.
But when you get up there in the King and Queen costume, you don't have to tell the whole story. Your concern there is to describe the costume first of all, because that is called the pre-judging, and if I'm not mistaken, that's worth 80 points.
Wow.
Exactly. You see, and the public don't know that.
Yeah,
And
we
pre-judging
didn't. We didn't
starts
They
know.
at
don't know
5.
that. So even though the actual playing of the costume starts 7, we in the costumes have to be out there from before 5 in the costume, because that's when the judges come around and start looking at the costumes to see how well they were put together, lifting it up to see if they see any steel under it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go on that the public don't know.
So
they
it's
might
not just judged
it's
on the part that the public
not just
sees.
judged on that at all. The public are there sometimes when we are talking. It's not a crowd,
Yeah.
right? But but the press usually is covering it,
Yeah.
right? And my thing is, they see us standing there. They don't know really
don't know
what
what
we're
we're
doing.
doing. Yeah.
Because, and then I even said it. I said because, okay, the costume might look like a bird. So the public will look at it and say, it's a bird.
It's a bird. Yeah.
It's not really a bird. Carnival is fantasy.
Yeah.
No, because like our one from Mother Nature last year, which was a half dove, half, it was a hybrid bird. What? It wasn't really
It's a
a
mythical
bird.
creature.
It was the spirit of, I don't really remember it, but it was a manifestation of something else which took the form of a bird.
I mean, you could just tell us
see?
which one this year's one is, and then we'll
Check you out.
Our theme is, from Mother Nature, evil No, it's Obia versus Salvation.
Oh, God.
But
Now, see, I'm pressing Leroy because we know that this is all top secret until the
Yeah.
Exactly.
I am not really hiding it because it's.
Yeah, but we don't know what that costume is going to look
tomorrow.
like.
Exactly. You
I
have to
won't
come
say
out
what the
tomorrow
costume
to see
is,
it.
but I can say that
Yeah.
when we first brought it out and I first put it on our page, Obia versus Salvation, and I said, I started the thing like, just to give a hint.
Yeah.
And he wanted her. He really wanted her. But she did not want him. And
Okay.
everybody really thought I was talking about human beings.
Yeah, well, that's the way in my mind right now. I'm thinking.
That's why they gotta come out and say what it is, because
Exactly.
neither he nor the she
Are people human beings?
no.
The King and Queen competition has definitely become an important part of
Yeah.
just the September celebrations
Exactly
in
it
general.
is.
Let's talk about what goes into it and the expectation you have in being able to have everybody be entertained and still kick off the carnival right.
Well, the King and Queen, we don't really have much. We're in charge of the bands because
Yeah.
that is controlled by Niche.
Okay.
They do King and Queen. But I know they have entertainment set for in between intervals because it'll be the June. Like I said, the pre-judging starts at 5, so we'll be out there from early to
Yeah.
ensure everything flows. Because you have 3 calls. If
Yeah.
they call your name 3 times and you're not there, that's a no-show.
Wow.
And there's
Disqualified? or-
yes,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
there's penalties for that also. Because what you don't realize is once you're a competing band, you have to take part in King and
Yeah.
Queen.
Okay.
Have to.
So
No
even
doubt
if your
about it.
makeup no finish, you get out there
You
when
get
you
out
can,
there.
Yes, when they
right?
call
That's
you that
just part
three
of the
times, you
design.
have
You
to
gotta
be
get
out
there.
there. You figure out how to work that out.
Yeah.
The show starts at 7 for where they'll dance in the costumes and portray it
Yeah.
out. But before the pre-judging, the judges have their criteria because we have a judging committee. So like we don't have anything to do with that.
Okay.
We don't even know who the judges are until we get there.
Yeah.
They have their criteria of what they look for from each costume and stuff. And then they have what the bands know what they need to present.
Yeah.
Like they know, they have their guidelines of this is expected, that's expected. Like Mr. Green says, this is the pre-judging. The judges could be there checking under your costume to see. Oh, I see a wire sticking out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever. It's just the
It has to be a
detail.
particular weight to
Height.
and material.
Yes, it has to be
Ask for a weight.
The height.
has to be
Sorry,
height.
yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
it has to be a
Yeah.
certain height for juniors and seniors.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the last few weekends we've been going around with our stick measuring
Measuring the
costumes
height.
to ensure, because we don't want them to reach there and assume that their costume was big enough
And
and
then
it
they lose
wasn't.
points.
Oh,
So we
wow.
go around checking with the different bands and ensuring that it meets the height
There's
And
requirement.
several-
correct me
things.
if I'm wrong, there's also an issue of whether or not it stands alone.
That's what I was just
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yes.
I don't remember the height for juniors. I think it might be 5 feet off the shoulders.
Yeah.
But I know for seniors, your costume have to be 7 feet off
Off the
shoulder.
shoulder.
Off your
Off
shoulder.
your
They
shoulder.
measure it from your shoulder up
Up.
7
Yeah.
feet.
7 feet. My God.
That's the minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just the minimum.
Yes, you could
That's the
you could go
minimum.
bigger if you want. If your person
That's
could
the
dance
minimum.
Well,
with
if
it
you
and handle it.
stand in the middle of
If
Marion
it's-
Jones, you gotta have something to do it big to leave it.
And if the person takes it off, or
Yes.
before the person has it on, it's standing there upright by itself, it's a float.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
It's not a
costume
costume.
has to be moved by the
So
person.
you have to have on
And
wheels.
apart from being moved by the person, if you are playing that costume, you can't be here, and then a rope or something is here, pulling that costume. The rules specify you are not supposed to be simply pulling
has to
that
be the person-
You has to be
You have to
in
be-
that costume,
Yes.
playing that costume. And the important thing there is playing the costume, not you the person in the costume.
Yeah,
Right.
So the event starts tomorrow, 7.
7.
Where are the tickets?
Tickets can be gotten at Bliss.
Okay.
$10 for adults, $5 for kids.
Okay.
can
And the
go ahead
event
and
is
buy
going to be
there.
at the Bliss.
No, the
No.
event is
No,
at
it's
Marian
at
Maybe at the
Joe's.
7 feet.
I
costume.
Oh, yeah.
That
Costume in
costume
Bliss?
can't get to the
Tomorrow.
Bliss.
Marian
At
Joe's.
Marion Jones, King and Queen, where it seems
Bliss?
like you guys will be lucky
you put-
because there isn't much breeze.
Yes, we
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
The breeze is sometimes a factor.
I know, I
Okay.
see it. And
Well-
it's such a beautiful show, and I'm so I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. But let me get back to other things that are taking place. Mass camp started yesterday.
Oh, no. Titans had their mass camp
camp
last night,
last
but they're a non-competing
They're not
band.
Okay, they're
so
not competing.
we only do mass camps for competing bands as that's part of their first judging.
Judging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why people don't understand, but that's why mass camp is important.
Yes.
Because That's the first
20
part where the
20
judges
points,
go
so-
and you're supposed to have your costumes on display for them to see.
Yeah.
Any way you
That's
want.
what it originally
Yes.
was, right?
Where you tell the story.
Yeah,
all right.
so that they
That
can
is where-
envision it, because you don't want to come out and say, my costume is a chicken this year and then a bird come out there. So, that's where they get the true vision of what you're trying to portray.
What's
Yeah.
the schedule for mass camp then?
Mass camps will be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Tuesday,
Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday
yeah.
of next week.
Mm.
All right. So that means
Right.
there'll be a lot of party in the middle of the week all over
honestly,
Belize.
First week of school.
Yeah.
And how many bands participating this year?
Yeah.
We have 6 juniors and 5 seniors.
5 seniors who are competing.
Yes, 5,
But
and
there are
then
about 4
4.
senior.
We have
Senior
5
bands that are-
Or
non-competing.
non-competing?
Yes.
Oh.
It's going to be a long carnival. this year.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, I always thought the carnival should get longer
Yeah.
and bigger.
Or
because
non-competing.
It has dropped off because I remember what carnival
Used to be.
And coming back to this king and queen, because that's always part of my concern, because I was always, when I went up and I won and so on, oh, but he never wiggle up enough.
You know we good.
It is
Accordingly.
not wiggling. The word that is in the rule book is play the costume. If you watch videos of all the carnivals across the world, you do not see any king and queen on that stage gyrating and wiggling up and throwing up their pelvis and so on. You don't see that.
Wait, so Leroy, let me ask. If you're not competing this year, you're training?
Yes, I am.
Oh. I knew it.
Always something up his
And
sleeve.
Mother
I
Nature,
swear.
Yeah.
since I asked me that question, go out there, support Colleen Jeffries, Queen Salia
You
for
see?
Mother Nature, and Randall Lightburn King
See, I'm getting
Watto.
people vexed,
Queen King
because
Watto.
you push Mother Nature now.
That's my bad.
I'm kidding. Everybody knows that. And
No,
then,
but I do, I'm impartial in some things because on the association, I am the band, the spokesperson, the rep for all the bands.
yeah,
They
which is
elected
something
me
new,
that.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because that has never been, and then the band said they wanted me to do it. I asked them, are they sure?
And the association does a lot of work, and you need the bands on board for pretty much everything. So this kind of ties it all
must
together.
say too, we have to really thank the members of the association. They take a licking. These people, most of them have their regular jobs. They're not getting paid for being members of the association.
It's the love of it. It's the love of
So
carnival.
when I hear people dissing them, it gets me kind of annoyed because you stand out there and you don't really know what these people put into carnival without getting a penny.
And for the most
And
part,
there's
it's
a
their
lot
own
of-
money.
It's their
And
own
there's a
money.
lot of
Yeah.
collaboration that is necessary too. I know you have to work with police, you have to work with health officials, so people are
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Carnival Day itself.
Okay, but before we reach there, can we go to Juve?
Oh,
Yeah, let's do it.
How could you forget Juve?
that's the only one I actually do.
She does say it last year. You see?
Okay, Juve, I'll make sure I catch her this year.
Get on this year.
Okay, Juve, as usual, we will lay the wreath first,
Yes.
as we do in memory of the young man that passed at the
Yeah.
bridge. We go from San Cas, Central American Boulevard, Cemetery Road, East Collect Canal, Vernon Street, North Front Street, Queen Street, Daly Street, and we end at Marine Parade.
Okay. Everybody just jump in and
Kicks
water.
off at
It kicks off at 5.
5
5
a.m. and you could either be a part of the general group or, get
Or
in with
you
one
have
of the
private
other
bands that are
groups.
doing it
Yeah.
also, yes.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by how big Juve has grown over the years?
Huge.
It's getting there.
I
Yeah.
don't take part anymore.
But see, a lot of people are like you, they only take part in Juve and
It's because I'm
enjoy
better with early
Carnival.
morning, right? That's why.
You're used to the early
I
mornings,
went to
okay.
the first 2 Juves when it first started
Started.
back, and then I stopped because I'm honestly a person who don't like crowds.
You know, like,
Well,
you
yeah.
like, no, you
But
wouldn't
I
even
always
think.
am surprised at the people in Carnival, because that's a lot. That
Yes.
early morning and to do the Carnival road
Yes,
march
and a lot of
itself.
people
That's some
actually
tedious,
do it.
that's some tedious stuff.
It's like Juve, no heal nobody while no because they come mod you up or paint you. So
Well, you can't go in a Juve if you won't get paint or
Exactly.
mud or
Exactly.
chocolate or
Juve is
whatever
just
it is.
the
Rita,
fun
that's
of it.
included.
That's
You
the
know?
fun of it.
It is a part of it. It is the fun
of
part of it.
Because actually,
Everybody
Juve
opens up.
Uh-huh.
is what used to be the first carnival in St. Vincent after emancipation was granted. When we started in 1838, they didn't put on any costumes. The masters and the slaves, the newly released slaves, painted themselves with flour and mud, and they paraded together and pretended for that one day that they were all one. That is where Carnival came from in the Caribbean.
Wow. Some history there.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. All right,
Thank
so
you for that.
Juve on Saturday morning, and then the parade kicks
Parade
off.
starts at 1 sharp, and I mean 1 sharp because the police will be there with their whistle. Let's go, let's go, let's
move.
go. If
Yeah.
you're not there, you catch us along the road. And we always ask that they be there on our time because we want the kids off of the street by a
Yeah.
certain time.
Yeah.
So we need the juniors off. So
And
finishing
it's-
at Marianne Jones is a little better because we have that enclosed,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the band leaders know that they know what to do with
Yeah.
their juniors when they're finished.
And it's also important that all members of all bands be out there in
Yes,
time, because that is
counting.
where the association comes to see that you have your required amount of revelers.
See, that's
Okay.
what you do. People,
See,
for
people
junior
don't know all
bands,
these things.
junior bands
Yes.
to be competing, you have to have 50 revelers. Seniors have to have 100. And we do a count there, and we do a count at the end. So don't think you'll jump in and don't make it. That's the importance people don't understand
So
of
that's
making
why you
it.
have to practice every week, so you build up the stamina. Because
Yes,
you
yes,
have
that's
to drop
why we
out
said
in the
people-
end.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why I don't think people understand that
Yeah,
you
and that's
jump
why
up
I was
Carnival
saying-
Day and don't go to practice.
You're gonna feel it.
Come
You're
catch
gonna
me.
feel it.
And
You
then
know
you
the
drop out
heat,
in
and
the middle
especially
of
with
the
this.
evening.
Yes. 'Cause
There
have
you go.
Yes,
Now we
that's
know.
why I
Yes.
said, I keep saying we need to have shows where we educate
Yeah.
the public about
So the
Carnival.
Which would give them the ability to appreciate
And understand it
understand
more, because
what
they
it's
see
about.
and then
Yes.
they reel up, oh, but oh, this one win and that one,
Yeah.
they don't really know
Yeah.
what people are looking for, because it's like the costumes, as Rihanna said, there's specific guidelines which you
Yeah.
have to look for. Like in the pre-judging, when we talk, we have to come across to the judges clear and eloquent and really bring out what your costume
Yeah.
is saying. Then
And
there
the
is-
children also have guidelines as well.
Yes.
That's
it's
what
very
it-
similar
Yeah.
to the
yeah,
adult one.
yeah. No, but also in being a bit
Oh,
more
yes,
Yes,
conservative.
no, the
No
junior
part of them
bands, they
should be
cannot
showing
have
no
any
kind of
parts
thing,
showing.
no.
They can't
No
wear
kind of
sleeveless. It has to
nakedness or
have
nothing like
sleeve
that. No. Okay.
and whatever. They know the
And
guidelines.
most of the junior bands choreograph, because we don't want them gyrating and nothing. The
They have
little
certain
children.
rules that they
the
have to
big
follow.
groups, choreography is not important.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what else do we need to tell people about Carnival?
Well, we just ask that everybody comes out, have some clean fun, and please just respect
Cooperate.
the barriers, respect
revelers.
the revelers, especially because one of the main concerns on BMN last year from the revelers were
Exactly.
people jump in and dance and go on bad palm
Yeah.
and look for how me
And
all
walk up,
over.
and especially the
You know,
children.
yes, and the children, and so that why with the Hope St. Thomas work out, we have certain guidelines where we have on St. Thomas, where we work with City Council, police, and so on St. Thomas. So we're hoping it flows a little smoother on that stretch.
Let's hope for that. Let's hope for
All
that.
right. Well, there you have it. So much covered in just this little time. First of all, we have a confirmation of the route.
Yes.
It's going to go St. Thomas off of Belcan into Freetown and then St. Thomas.
Yes.
There will be the return of the final
final
lap
lap.
in Marion
Marion
Jones.
Jones.
So if you don't want to stand anywhere on any of the streets, you can go to Marion Jones.
Marion
Is there a
Jones.
Yep.
charge to go in?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
There is a covered charge. Let me
Yes,
get
and
that because
that
we're
is-
not responsible for that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not. We're trying to. We can't delegate that and be manning the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because we will be all over.
And then the final judging is actually
The-
going to be
the-
in Marion
In
Jones. So
front
you
of
won't
the
see tired
visitors.
people. They got to bring the
yes,
energy
they
there.
have to because that's
That's
the judges
even
will
more
be in there
important
waiting
than
for
the
them.
one in front of the company. Those
The
there's going to
senior
be two.
should be in front of the juniors. Judging point will be at the usual spot, the hand monument, and the seniors should be in front of Civic by the 3 balls.
Okay.
So there you
From
won't
the
be able to
Civic
be
and
either
then in
as the
the
judges need to see, and then the last
stadium.
lap, or whatever. The cover
right.
charge should be $5 kids, $10 adults to get in the Marion Jones.
Reasonable for excellent entertainment.
Yes, because they are in charge of that. Should be having entertainment before they reach there and after. I'm not
Afterwards.
really sure of the.
You know what's going to happen? People are going to watch it 2 times. They're going to see 1 time and then
Well, a lot
rush
of people
over.
do
That was
Yeah.
the tradition, and I'm sure
And
it'll
the last
carry
lap
through.
really does make a big difference. People don't realize that because you could win it there or lose
Lose
it
it
there.
there. That's
So
true.
That's why we tell the bands make sure you're revelers understand the importance of this last lap.
Yeah.
Your costume needs to be durable to
Yes,
make
there's
it into that stadium
Yeah.
intact.
No pieces should
Yeah.
be off of it. Real
And we
proper.
can see you the whole lap. So if
Yep.
you lose energy along the way, we're watching too, right? Not that the audience has anywhere to say.
So, because the judges will be in there waiting
Yeah.
for them.
All
King
right.
and Queen is tomorrow
Tomorrow.
night at the Marion Jones.
7
Also
o'clock.
starts at 7 o'clock. And mass camps
Mass
next
camp.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and
And
Thursday.
Thursday.
And don't forget that if you're looking for some fun, but you're not ready for the Carnival Road March yet, join the Juve. It's Saturday morning starting at 5 from Pelton.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate it. And
Thank
best
you,
of luck.
thank you.
You got a
Thank
busy
you.
week ahead.
Yes,
Since
we
I'm the
do.
only band person here, I'd like to say out to all the other bands, juniors and seniors, congratulations for the hard work you've put in so far,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of work. I'd also like to say put on those finishing touches and make sure, guys, all of you, juniors and seniors, get to Marion Jones tomorrow, latest 4:30.
All right. You won.
All right.
Can I please? I need to big up my association
Yes.
members. We have our president, Patrick Thompson.
Yeah.
We have so many of us behind the machinery
Yeah.
that take the brunt of it all. We
Yeah.
have Nelbert Flowers, Yolani Kokom, Alison Flowers, Camira Brown, Eugene Trench, of course, Mr. Stanley Lizama. Can't go without him. And Andrea Badia that assists us
Yes,
from
sir.
time to time.
All right.
And Philip Willoughby.
And yourself.
And yeah, myself.
Well, we do appreciate it. And like we said, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking to some of the participants of this year's Caribbean Festival of Arts. So please stay tuned.
All right.